What up and welcome. This is Tell Me I'm Wrong. We got Rick, we got Marsh, we got Blues Clues producer Yells in the background. Rick, there is no better drinking establishment than a dive bar. Tell me I'm wrong.
Uh,
No better.
if we're just talking drinks,
I did say
only.
drinking establishment. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm
Drinking
saying
establishment.
if I'm talking about the whole experience of being at a bar, and then dive bars, no.
Okay, explain
If I'm
yourself.
talking about
I
the
probably have
entire,
to explain myself.
so I have the privilege of living in Houston, and so
Whoa.
our bars are kind of like lounges, which kind of act kind of like a club. So
A
like
bouge.
going to a bar in Houston is like its own thing. Now we have dive bars, but therefore usually people who go to dive bars or the dive bars are usually in their neighborhoods. So it's more like it's like a neighborhood dive bar. You go there for camaraderie and cheap drinks, right? And sometimes
Yep.
it might be a cool food truck, right? So if you go in there for that, dive bar is cool. But if I'm going for the total atmosphere that Houston has to offer on their bar scene, dive bars are like when your family's and friends in town, we just want to go somewhere really quick.
Now see that right there. You saying friends and family are in town. A dive. If you're willing to take friends and family from out of town, and you're like, hey, we're gonna go here. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think that's necessarily a dive bar because a good dive bar should be one. And this is why I think it's the best because it is the origins of humanity having a drink, where it should be a little seedy. It should be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You should walk in and there should still have the whiff of cigarette smoke. And around the bar, there should have cigarette trays for the people that are actively still smoking. It should be a spot where you're like, maybe I shouldn't come here, but you want to go here. And that's what makes
this glass is definitely probably not clean.
But it's frosted, but it's a frosted glass. And I'm telling you, there's no better drinking establishment because a couple things. One, the people there's no judgment, right? There's people are just there to get their booze in, whatever their poison of choice is. The drinks, as you mentioned, are cheap. They have the best specials. A dive bar has the best specials. There's a dive bar that I'm a big fan of in West Palm Beach. And they had a couple weeks ago, I know it's probably months ago now, but they had a pudding shot special. And I think it was $2 per pudding shot. And it was a Jello shot, but replaced the Jello with pudding.
What is a pudding shot?
It's a Jello shot, but just instead of Jello, pudding. And they had some vodka with a little bit of Bailey's. And it was vanilla pudding. It was delicious. But you're not going to get that at a lounge.
Hold on, Marsh. Stop.
It's exactly as it sounds. It's exactly as it sounds, man.
Pudding shots actually a thing, or is this just like a Florida thing? Is this actually a real?
This is the bartender thing. Because when we asked her, we were like, we see that this exists. We see this on your special menu. We have to get one. As me and a couple buddies. And we're like, we had to.
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life.
So we hadn't either.
Somebody in the chat mentioned if where you go to your dive bar if they have pudding shots.
I'm sure they did.
Something ingenious that I'm not aware of.
She is, because she goes, yeah, well, everybody has Jello shots. I just decided to do it with pudding. And we were like, this is a risky move here. Because that's the other thing. When you get a drink at a dive bar, there should be inherently a little bit of you that's like, I should probably just do the bottle, right? I should probably just drink out of the bottle.
You definitely need to be up on all your shot records before you go.
Right. You cannot walk in there and be like, this is great. I know that everything is spick and span. That's not the point of a dive bar.
That's not it. No.
And so we were like, we're taking a big gamble here going for this pudding shot.
Yes,
and I'll tell you what, it was so good that I think we each had 2 or 3 of them. Because it's also $2.
Y'all $2 down. More pudding for me, please.
We had. Yes. And so Yells is asking, do you use a spoon? No, you don't use your mitts, but you use the other eating utensil that God has gifted us with. That's your tongue, in the same way that you do a Jello shot. You don't need a single utensil. I mean, it's just scoop it in and you're good.
So you're scooping the pudding with your tongue. Pudding
Yeah, I
shot.
mean, look, it's no different than you were a kid once, or you've had a pudding shot, or not pudding shot, pudding cup recently. And sometimes
A pudding
we
cup
as
last night.
humans, there you go. But you know what you probably did is you're probably a dignified adult and you use a spoon. But sometimes
Yep.
all the
I
spoons are
used.
dirty. You didn't use a spoon, so what you had to use your tongue. It's the same thing. You just that's what you do. Except I would argue this: the pudding shot, it came in the small, like a Jello shot comes in like a maybe like an inch and a half tall cup, right? It's very
Right.
small. It's the little solo cup things, but not the solo cup that you drink out of, the small ones. A pudding, like a normal cup of pudding, comes in way too deep of a of a dish, I guess, for you to comfortably use your tongue because you're like really just sticking everything you got in it. These, you don't have to worry about that. So it just worked
Wait.
out so good.
What happened? How does it look? How does it look?
I'm
again,
not. I'm
Ryan?
not gonna do any more than that because Yells is gonna produce it and it's gonna make it look weird. You gotta get you gotta get everything in there. You gotta get
Yeah, you gotta get in there. You're right. You gotta get in there. I
all
agree.
your teeth gotta be in there, even though you're not
Yeah.
using them. You gotta dive into a pudding cup if you don't have that. So the pudding shot. But back to my original point, diving bars are the best because it's cheap beer. People ain't gonna judge you, and you're gonna have. There's gonna be that guy that's there. You like if you roll in at two in the afternoon, let's say, because dive bars are a daytime thing.
For sure.
I'm not at a dive bar at 2 in the morning. I'm just not.
But you could be.
You could be because
There's
they're
no
open till
judgment if you are.
5, and that's the great part about them. They're not going to judge you if you show up. If you walk in the door at 2 in the morning, you walk in the
Yeah.
door at a bar at 2 in the morning, and they're like, "We're closed. Like leave." Dive bars are like, "Welcome. The party's just getting
Welcome.
started."
Yes.
But no one's going to judge you, right? It's a very judgment-free zone. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing. And honestly, you want to look less put together at a dive bar because these folks are you're just coming as you are, man. So I took my wife we went to a dive bar to get a drink this past weekend, and we didn't know a single person in there. Now,
Was this
I'd
her
seen the
first time at the
bartender.
dive bar? She goes to dive
This
bars with you all the time.
This was her first time at this dive bar. I am a big fan of this dive bar. But I will say this: I don't go to dive bars or this one in particular enough to be a regular. I love dive bars, but I just don't have the desire to drink that much to become because like I envy anybody that's a regular at a bar because that's a commitment. Like that's a financial and a physical commitment.
It is.
Right?
That is.
That is a ton of respect from me to you.
If you're responsible, that goes on your spreadsheet, your monthly spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I think we have like this societal, maybe like, wow, you're a regular at a bar, and I think there's some parts of society that are like they frown upon that. I think we should applaud that because that means this person's putting in at least 4 days a week at this joint, right? You can't be a 1 day a week patron and be a regular. The bartenders they're seeing way too many people. They're not going to recognize you. You got to be in there putting in the work, and you can't just get one drink. You've got to put in
Several.
2 to 3 drinks
Right.
per visit, and you've got to be very personable to the bartenders. Like you can't just go in there and sit. You have to make conversation. But we went to this one.
Not only that, but it also means you're gainfully employed. It's the American way. Because you can't be at a dive bar, as cheap as it is, you can't be there drinking that many drinks 4 times a week and not be gainfully employed.
Or comfortable in your own shoes and whatever that financial level is. Because I would say, I would argue actually maybe the contrary. Because to be like, you're fast tracking. If you want a fast pass to being a regular at a bar, you get there at 2 in the afternoon during the week. And I don't know many gainfully employed people. Maybe they're working the night shift. Good for them. But 2 in the afternoon is a tough call, man. I don't know if that's gainfully employed. You might start getting looks. But no, they were all friendly.
They might trade stock daytime, you know?
You know what? That's a great point, Rick. Maybe they just are deep into stocks. That's a great point. I did not think of that. They're just day trading from their phone. I did not consider that as an option in today's technological era. You're right. They could just be stockbrokers, and we have no idea.
Jingles, for Taco Bell.
There you go. Yeah. There's a lot of. You're right. There's a lot in today's work from home environment. There's a lot of options that could apply there. And that I'm going to lead that into my second tell me I'm wrong, which is pubs, not dive bars, because there's a difference between a pub and a dive bar, and we can get into that later on if we need to. But pubs are much better than clubs. Like, and to me, it's not a competition. Clubs are on the power rankings of drinking establishment. Clubs at the bottom. To me, never cool, never into them. I don't think that's a personal thing. I think that we have overhyped clubs on the whole.
I
Tell me more.
agree. I agree. I think once you hit 30, I think clubs become irrelevant to you for the most part. I
Sure.
think in your 20s, when you get 21, you can finally legally go to a club. So you're going to wear that out. You know what I mean? You're going to go every opportunity to go to a club. You're going to go to a club. That's where everyone's gathering. Your college friends are going to be there. Your age group is going to be there. So clubs is a thing. I think, but once you hit 30, your whole reason for going out changes. I don't want to run into 50. I don't want to run into 300 people today. I'd rather not. I'd rather just go somewhere, give me a nice little meal, sometimes a Wednesday night, maybe steak night or lobster night, something like that, right? Give me a nice drink and I'm good. Again, I have the fortune of being in Houston. So a pub or bar or a lounge in Houston is sometimes just like a club or even better. They bring DJs, they have the atmosphere, pretty women, and the drinks and the food is still there. So for me as a Houstonian, 1000%, any of those pubs, bars, lounges are way better than clubs. I'm too grown for clubs, and the bars and pubs and lounges in Houston are really fantastic.
Let me say this about clubs too. I think the 30-year-old piece is going because now it's, to me, again, never had the desire for them, but they stopped playing the music you like, right? And it's not that your music is bad or that I'm not trying to get into a debate of new music isn't good.
It's no longer the popular music though.
Right. Or if it is, it's the remix of it and they're going to play it for one verse. So the music is just going to be, you're going to be like, yeah, play Semisonic. And people are going to be like, go home, old man. So it's like, it's just not going to be your right. They're going to play closing time for you to leave. And then also the prices, man. I like a $3 beer. That's why dive bars are great. Pubs, you're looking at maybe like a $5 to $7 beer. Man, that's probably pretty cheap for a pub. You go to a club and you're getting like a bottle of any type of beer, and it's like $16. Like you can get a 12-pack for the price of one bottle, which to me is stunning that the clubs are a young establishment because
it's so expensive.
Typically. Yeah, it's like you're just out of college, unless you're getting bankrolled by somebody. Like you're low man on the totem pole at the office. Like there's not a lot of disposable income, and you're wasting that on the $12 Miller Lite draft, or not even draft, Miller Lite bottle.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if we're gonna take a step further, the sporting events are the same price, or maybe even more at this point. But yeah, it gets really pricey. I mean, like I said, I've done the clubs. I've done the clubs a lot. The only thing I do make an exception when I go out of town. If I go to out of town, there's a popular club out of town, I will go to the club out of town so I can say I've been there, right? Check it out. You realize it's all pretty much the same thing, constructed differently. It looks a little bit differently inside, but it's pretty much just all the same thing. So I will do that. If I'm in Miami, there's a couple of popular clubs in Miami. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Live. I'm gonna hit such and such. I'm in other places. I'm gonna check it out. But just generally speaking, no. I don't do the club scene like that at all.
Were you ever a big club guy? Were you ever like?
Yeah, at a time. Yeah, that was Friday night coming, especially like in my college days or early to mid 20s. We living for the weekend, brother. We're living for the weekend, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna Friday, Saturday, sometime. Even today in Houston,
Friday game.
There's a spot like these people doesn't pay me for this at all, so whatever. But Chapman and Kirby on Sunday in Houston is bananas, and it's not a club. It's a restaurant that turns into like a lounge live event thing on Sundays. And
what's it called?
Chapman and Kirby.
Okay, go ahead. So they have
a slogan that says "Never leave Houston on Sunday." That's why you don't leave Houston on Sunday, because of places like them. That's going to be a complete blast. And this is during the daytime. It's like daytime party that rolls over into the nighttime. It starts around 3ish, and then it's just all night long. So
on Houston, a Sunday,
yes, that's what I'm telling you.
That's a rough day to do it, man.
Every night of the week is a great night at some place or two.
Sure. So fun story. We used to live in downtown West Palm Beach, which is not a big. It's not it's getting there, so that's why we don't live there anymore. Um, and so there's a college in West Palm that is a religious school. There's nothing wrong with this religious school. However, on Sundays, there used to be a bar called Banco Cantina, and it was a three-story establishment. First floor was their restaurant, second floor was their club, and then third floor was like the outdoor bar top or like rooftop bar. And so they on Sundays would just blast music. And so the I don't know, the most comedic part of it is that Sunday morning West Palm Beach would be nice and quiet. Everybody's at church. And then right around 11:30, all the religious school kids are getting out of church, and where do they go? Banco Cantina,
Yes,
and they just
sir.
start turning up. And so we would try to like go for a walk at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Nope.
And there's kids just like stumbling. And you know, like when a
The
college
Lord
kid,
ain't here. The Lord is not
no,
here.
the Lord has left them. The Lord will see them on
The
Wednesday.
Lord has left the building.
He says, you're on your own for this one. And they do the typical like 20-year-old college kid where like one of them's very drunk and they're stumbling around. And then there's the slightly less drunk but still very absolutely drunk person that's like trying to be the adult in the room, especially when
Yeah.
they see a sober
Yeah.
adult. They're like, oh, she's just had a couple too many to drink. It's like, brother, you've had a couple many to drink. She's had about 12 too many to drink. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in August down here. You are going to be dead by 5 o'clock. So
Let me tell you,
that's
those are my favorite people to see because you know they enjoy their time to the fullest. I love that. Now, it's never been me. That's never been my bag because I hate the thought of throwing up. So I've never had a night where I'm like, oh, I've never had one of those nights. I'm too anything because that means I went too far over the edge. So I'm very conscientious of that. But I love those types of individuals because they're all good party goer friends. Unless they're riding in the car with you on the way home, then they're not so good.
well, they're the worst if you haven't had anything to drink. So if you are stone
yes,
cold
they're annoying
sober
as hell.
and there,
Yes.
you're like,
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah.
If you've had like one or two and you are just enjoying your time, they are very entertaining to
Yes.
watch.
Yes.
If that's, but it's like as you're walking down the street and they're stumbling into you, that's not really the best person. All right, I've done two. I need to hear some things that you are probably wrong about.
So, listen. Let's see what pops up on the screen. We're gonna pop.
You
I
got to
see
say it.
Okay, here we go. So we're talking about bars and clubs, and the reality of it is, we need to talk about some etiquette. There are certain bar etiquette that I feel that we need to establish or
do it.
reestablish. I want to talk to my fellas because I want to help them out. They're looking like weirdos these days. A lot of guys in bars, single guys, are looking like absolute weirdos. Rule number one at the bar: just because you buy her a drink does not mean you own her for the rest of the night, my mans.
Okay.
You do not own her for the rest of the evening. If your dumb ass keep buying drink after drink after drink after drink after drink, that's on you. She is not obligated to be with you for the rest of the evening because you spent $60 on her, $100 on her and her friends at drinks. Don't be an idiot. If you haven't gotten the information by drink two, sir, you are not the one tonight. It is not your night. You might need to move around. Period.
Okay. I don't know what that has to do with them looking like weirdos, but I mean, I would agree with that as a statement. I thought you were going to say there was some type of
That's just
dress
rule one.
code.
That's just
That's rule
one.
one. Okay, well,
Yeah,
I don't think you're wrong
I'll
on
get
rule
to weirdos
one.
in just a minute.
Okay, well, I don't buy women drink except for my wife, so
There
I
you
don't
go.
have
Good
to be
answer.
too concerned about people, thinking anything about anything if there's a drink being purchased. So you're not going to get any argument of that. Okay, what's rule number two?
Rule number two. Inside of the restrooms, most of them, they have a restroom attendee there. The restroom attendee's job is to provide smell goods and gum and mints for your mouth.
Sure.
Why don't y'all pin them $2 to get your mouth together? You know what I'm saying? Y'all in these girls' faces and your breath smell like halitosis, smell like you just ate a bag of corn chips and stop it. Pop them in your mouth. Take a moment. Pay your $2
So I think
to the man.
I think this might be your tell me I'm wrong. You're pro bathroom attendant.
In a lot of cases, yes, 100%.
Really? See, I'm a
Yes.
big anti bathroom attendant.
What? What they
Because
doing wrong?
well, first off, I didn't come in with a lack of cologne on, so I don't need more of anything.
You could have sweated it out there.
Again, as a married man, if I'm smelling raunchy, it's not it's not like I'm getting turned down. I'm still going home with my wife that night. We're still sleeping underneath the same roof, baby. And same thing with mouthwash. What do I care? So more often than not, they're just handing me paper towels, and I'm like, I can get my paper towel.
I'm basically having this conversation with the wrong person. That's what I'm.
Yeah, you are. Because you know who doesn't have bathroom attendants? Dive bars. And because there's no judgment in a dive bar. No judgment in a dive bar.
They should have bathroom attendants.
No. That's more overhead, man. Dive bar operates on the lowest
nothing
possible.
inside the bathroom. I'm mad when I'm at a dive bar and I have to go to the bathroom. I'm upset. That's one of the things that really pissed. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to the restroom. Like, I really wish I didn't have to, because
you don't use like
there's
the little
a million
elbow.
degrees on the handle. There's a million diseases on the handle. There's a million diseases on the sinks. There's no paper towels. And I don't know about you. Maybe I'm giving too much information, but it's what it is. I already flush the toilets with my foot anyway. I never flush the toilet with my hand. So just in case some guys out there thinking, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I flush the toilet. So there's nothing about a dive bar. They have cool stickers that's inside there, but there's nothing outside of that. There's nothing about the dive bar that I would like to touch bathroom related. They need bathroom attendees. They actually should have one.
That's actually more overhead.
Get the door for me, guy. I'm not touching it. No, hand me my paper towels, please, and cut the sink on, because I don't touch that sink.
Yep. I mean, look, you're not wrong, but that's that's the thrill, man. It's like you don't go. I think it's dive bar, just to find our way back to the dive bar. A dive bar is like going on a roller coaster, but there's real consequence.
It's like a Final Destination episode.
It is. You go to a roller coaster and you're like, oh, there's the thrill that you're going to do a loop-de-loop or a corkscrew, or you're going to go upside down for a period. And it's like, oh, this is great, but nothing bad's going to happen because all of the safety mechanisms they need. Dive bar, those safety mechanisms don't exist. So you get the thrill of the risk of it with the very real possibility, if you're not careful, there are consequences.
Yeah,
and I think you can catch a lot of things. You can catch if you're not paying attention. You can go home with multiple things that you didn't walk in that door with.
Yes.
And so you have to be careful. And that's the thrill. That's the rush of a dive bar. Okay, so you're pro bathroom attendant. I think you're wrong on that, because I think I'll say this. I am a cashless guy. I don't carry cash. I don't, unless I know I'm going to a spot that is cash only, which again, we're back to our dive bars, but I don't need to keep talking about dive bars. I'm not carrying cash with me. I'm a digital guy. And so I feel like an absolute just terrible human being when the bathroom attendant is staring at me and I'm like, sorry, brother, I got $0 bills on me. And I'm not going to Apple Pay you $1 right now. I apologize. But so I'm then put in that difficult situation, like staring at this person when they've involuntarily given me.
It becomes a stare contest. I stare back.
I mean, look, I'm doing it. But I think you should feel a little guilty about that. You should feel a little guilty. And they turned on the water for you. They turned on the water. They gave you your soap.
Hey, and I do this. Turn the water off. Thank you. Hand me my paper towels.
That's your signal for turning the water off. Little handshake. Wow. You just need a personal bathroom attendant is what you need.
Yeah,
just
maybe so.
The guy that does
that's
all
what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. All right, so your your bar etiquette is just because you bought a girl a drink doesn't mean anything. I would say that's true. You're saying that we are pro bathroom attendant, which I say ban them across the United States, just not allowed anymore. Is that all of your bar etiquette that you think you're right or wrong on?
If we can take care of those things, I think the bars would be 70% better. I think that's enough. I think the big one for the guys, they need to relax on that. The last thing is kind of here's the reality of my last point I want to make. Everybody's in their line. Everyone's in their line. They're lying through their teeth. Guys
just
are
lie in.
buying
Okay.
drinks that they can't really afford. Many rounds that they shouldn't be buying. They spending their light money on the drinks. And the girls in there lying too. You know, she got on 5-inch heels. She's not that tall. She got on Spanx. Her stomach is not that small. She got on long hair that weave. We seen it all. So everybody in their line. Everybody's lying.
I think
it's a great fantasy place for everybody because everybody can tell their best lies, and may the best lies win when it comes to like those type of outings.
so. Do you think that everyone is a liar is a bad thing or a good thing?
No, I think everyone. I think everyone at any point in time on the same page is usually a good thing. At least everybody on the same page. So you got to go into that situation knowing what you're going into. If you think that if you go into it, the chances of a chick in there telling you the truth from meeting you in there initially is, brother, forget about it. Forget about it, brother. Why would she do that? What's the point of doing that, right? So, and the chance of the guy, same vice versa. Guy's not going and telling you their whole, hey man, I got a nice Benz outside, but I'm 3 months behind. They finna repo this mug. You know what I mean? Like, no one's saying all this. No one's telling you this. That I gotta hide it. When I leave here, I gotta hide it at my mama house because they don't have her address, so they don't know to come by there. You know, no one's saying that. So everyone's got their best lie. Put your best lies forward, you know, and enjoy. I think that's why the clubs were made for one night onlys. Let's enjoy the night only because after tomorrow, the jig is up, the lies are up. I gotta go back to my regular life.
Right.
Let's just
I would say
the moment, and then I see you on the other side.
I was a little nervous that you were going to say that we should be telling the truth in the bar or the club scene, but I would say that. So you had me in the first half there, but I would agree with you on that front. I don't think you're wrong to answer the question of this podcast. You're not wrong that everyone at the bar is a liar, but at least we're all kind of like under this understanding that this is a fictional universe that we're walking into. And you know, and everyone's a lot more. Their personality could be worse. I would hope that people's personalities are a little bit more excited, so a little bit better personality. Because everybody, you like all the good ideas come out in the bar because you got a little substance in you. You know, everybody wants to hang out again when you see somebody at the bar. So we should do this more often. And the next morning you're like, we should never do that again.
People more generous at the bar.
Yes. Yeah, because they don't.
But I'm buying you around, knowing that they way over their own budget, but they got to buy everyone's around because we're in the moment. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because they want. I mean, what do they care? They're not seeing that number show up when they offer the round. It's at the end. I mean, what they should do, what they shouldn't. They should not do this. But if you ever want to crack down on that approach, you have to get a little, a mark that says, hey, this is how much this shot's going to cost you for that person. You're going to be like, man, I don't know. Maybe not. All right, I think it's time that we don't pay any bills. So we've got an ad read here coming right up.
This episode is not brought to you by Carlton. And any of you don't know who Carlton Banks is, it's because you're not as fresh as you should be, because he was the true star of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When it comes to Carlton, there is no one, and I mean no one, that aspires more to be like, that I aspire more to be like. From his love for sweaters tied around his shoulders, paired with Tommy Hilfiger shorts, to his love for bunnies, happy Easter, Carlton is an African-American icon, and even more so, my idol. So next time you see a black guy dancing, all arms, a whole lot of neck, and potentially concerning love for Caucasian women, think of Carlton. Better yet, think of me.
Rick, a very specific taste you have there, huh?
Hey, you got to pay your bills. You got to pay.
I didn't realize Carlton was
do.
handing out. I didn't know Carlton was handing out checks. That's interesting.
Yeah. Bunnies worldwide.
All right, let's. So we've got through the first half. Let's see what we've got here coming in on this. I don't even know where we're going. You can edit that out. Go ahead. All right, let's say this: the bar is for fun. The club, does that just equal, well, afternoon activity for those on our listening audience? The word we've been given is fornication.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Bar is fun. Club is fornication. Again, I live in Houston, so bar and club can be interchangeable. So I can very much
But that's not
bar.
that's not allowed. I don't think that's allowed. If you're interchangeable, pick one. You got to pick one.
I'm gonna say this is correct for the rest of America. This is correct.
I would say as human beings, as adults, I would say that when people get a little bit of liquor in them, it doesn't matter the venue that they're in. It could all end up with two people going home together that didn't arrive together. It could be a club, it could be a bar, and I think you could have fun at a club. I think you could have fun at a bar. You could have ulterior motive, and I'll promise you, there's some 22-year-olds that look on Thursday night comes around and they say, time to lock in for the next 72 hours because it doesn't matter where I'm going, club or otherwise.
Right.
I've got motives and I've got goals.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They got an agenda. So I would disagree with that. I don't think it matters where it is. I think we have, as young adults, have all experienced that it doesn't matter where you're going. You got likely one thing on the mind. So I'm going to say that's an inaccurate statement. I will say this though. If a bar can double as a club, it's not a bar and it's not a club. What is it? I don't know. It's a blub. It's nothing. It's not. I don't want to go there.
Okay. It's Houston Tech. Welcome to Houston, then.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Houston now. I don't. Your dive bars are apparently nice enough to bring family and friends. You're not embarrassed by it. Like there should be a hint of embarrassment when you go to some bars. I don't know. If the Irish ever made their way there. I'm a big Irish pub guy, so I don't know if the Irish made their way to Houston.
Yeah, they have several Irish pubs. But so I think when we talk about dive bar, I think when I'm talking about dive bar, I'm talking about dive bars. Everyone knows it's a dive bar, so you go in already know. Like there's one dive bar that we go to. The guy serves Cheez-Its in a bowl.
Hell yes. I love this. I'm back. Houston. I'm back in on Houston. Cheez-Its in a bowl. I like this.
There's Cheez-Its and it's like there's a big ass box of Cheez-Its next to on the other side of the bar. And he just dips the bowl.
Nice. Oh yes. I love this. This is what I'm talking about, right? You go to a dive bar. Now he is just introducing a lot of germs from the people that have been pawing around in that bowl. Now they're going into the Cheez-It dumper. So I'm that's what I'm talking. There's a little bit of risk involved again. I like this. Okay.
I figured you appreciate that. That little excerpt, Marsh.
I do like is it a free Cheez-It bowl or do you have to pay for the Cheez-It bowl?
No, it's free.
Yeah, see that's what I'm talking about. Cheez-Its. Dive bars know how to appreciate their because
you gotta wash it down. You gotta wash the Cheez-Its down.
Right. Cheez-Its not a moist cracker. It is a dry cracker.
With salt.
What are you gonna do? Order more? Right. And you're not gonna order more water, right?
Right. You gotta wash it.
You're not gonna. Speaking of which. Are you a straw user when you go to a bar or a club? Do you use a straw or do you drink out of a cup?
Man, this is a good question, and I hope the black community don't disown me for my segments. But my favorite drink of choice is an old fashioned, and I do not drink old fashions from a straw. So,
are you supposed to drink an old fashioned from a straw?
No, but from a sanitational purpose standpoint. It's probably safer to drink anything out of a straw as opposed to the glass. But I'm not drinking an old fashioned from a straw. That's just not the way that works. So if I'm having my drink of choice, which is old fashioned most of the time, I'm drinking out of the glass.
But I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, that's how you're supposed to drink an old fashioned. I'm talking about you go to the club or you go to a bar, and the chances are you're probably not ordering I would say there's a time in the day, and now I'm not an old fashioned guy, but an old fashioned it's a well crafted drink, right? You can't
Yes.
pour
Correct.
cert. There's some
Correct.
there's some beauty to it. Probably, I'm gonna say after like 10:30 at a bar, you're probably not ordering an old fashioned because they're gonna start serving quick, and they don't
Right.
want to take the
So
time for it.
if it's not an old fashioned, if it's a quick pour drink, yes, straw.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
absolutely.
using a straw. See, I
100%.
am not a straw user
100%.
because
100%.
when they're out there mixing all their drinks, when they grab the straw, their mitts are going right at the top of the straw and they're dropping it in, which means I'm not just drinking the straw, I'm drinking from their fingertips, and I don't know where them fingertips have been.
Well,
So I'm out. I'm a no straw guy.
It's those same fingertips that fix your drink in the first place. One.
Well,
She
I
didn't
hope
switch
I don't.
She didn't switch fingertips, the same fingertips.
No. Well,
And then
she's
two,
not.
I
How is she pouring the drink?
I grab my own straw secondly and drink it.
Okay, I like that move.
Yeah.
Little
I lean out to my
BYOS.
own- Yes, I grab my own straw. So I am a
Okay.
straw guy. If it's not my drink of choice, old fashioned or one of my
You're
nice
using a straw.
martinis, then I'm using straw. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can. You saved me there at the end. I like the bring your own straw approach. Grab your own and kick rocks with the other. All right. What else we got? Blues Clues producer yells. Judgment on Long Island iced tea drinkers. Do you see one being drank? Your thoughts are what?
A good time is on the way. Long Island iced tea drinkers are good times until they're not. Like you have a window. If you find someone drinking Long Island iced tea, you have between the time you see them first start drinking, and you got maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours top after that. After that 2 hour mark, it's like the gremlin. They turn into a whole different monster. You don't want to be around. Long Island iced tea drinkers have a time limit for sure. If you capture them inside the time limit, great time. Outside the time limit, you're gonna regret it.
So I would say this. The Long Island iced tea, I'm a big Venn diagram guy. I think I've used the Venn diagram example here quite a bit. And because all roads lead to dive bars, the Venn diagram between Long Island iced tea drinkers and dive bar patrons is pretty close to a circle. I'm just gonna say that. It's pretty darn close to a circle.
That's the general drink of choice.
I don't know that it's the drink of choice, but I don't think that there's anybody that walks into a dive bar that's ever been like, Long Island iced tea, not my cup of tea. I'm more of a old fashioned guy. Nah, they walk in there and be like, what's the maximum amount of alcohol I can drink in the quickest amount of time? And guess what that tends to be? A Long Island iced tea. Now look, I am not an often Long Island iced tea. I have enjoyed one, but I think that they're a drink that it's kind of like a 6-word sentence in drink form. It's straight to the point. We're not messing around with commas, right? It's just straight to the point.
And I look at dive bar patrons, regulars, as actually those who either prefer their drink straight or those who prefer their drink with a small chaser.
So I will say this.
Like to me, they don't think they drink their straight. They drink theirs pretty much straight with a little bit of chaser, so splash of water or tonic or something like that, or they love beer. Like to me, those are the three that make up all of 99% of the patrons in my book, in my opinion.
I think you're correct. And there was a guy. Again, we just had a couple afternoon brewskis, and a guy walked in, and this was diabolical in my opinion. So he walks in, he says, "Hey, could I just get a vodka on the rocks? Vodka on the rocks is fine. It's a perfectly fine drink." However, she said, "Is there a brand you like, or do you want well?" And he goes, "I'll do a well." Now, if you're doing a well alcohol at a dive bar, that is not good stuff. Like if you're at
what is that? Like Beef Eater, Cisco? That's probably Cisco.
I don't know what that is, man. I don't even think it's got a brand. It's just like we found this on the side of the road and we think it's clear enough to be vodka. God. Like that, well alcohol in general, it's a tough sell for me. Like as I've gotten older, I've become more appreciative of like, oh, this is a nice tasting, the rich flavor.
I'm not going to be sick.
But a well vodka at a dive
Yeah.
bar is a tough sell for me. So I know a little off topic there, but it was a diabolical move by this guy to go with that at like
Yes.
3:30 on a Saturday afternoon.
Tough times. Marsh,
So
did you buy his next round? He's on tough times, my man.
I did. I went in there with
He's on tough
just
times.
I brought enough cash for us to get a couple rounds because I knew if I got each drink was going to be like $5 because
Yeah.
that's what you're in that range. I brought enough money to get a couple rounds of drinks for my wife and I, play a game of pool, and then play the quarter game where it's got like the sliding platform full of quarters
Oh
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
drop the quarter
Did
in.
you win?
We actually we didn't I didn't go home with any money, like I didn't get a big pile, but we got 3 or 4 rolls that did bring us some quarters. So I spent $1 to get quarters, and I would say I got $2 worth of entertainment out of
There you
it.
go.
So I thought that's a win to me. I mean, that's how you got to judge those things. That's how you got to
It's the
judge
gift that
those
keeps
things,
on giving.
right?
Yeah.
Right. You know you're not going to win, so you know did I get entertainment? Same thing with the pull tabs. I love a good pull tab. And dive
That's the
bars.
thing. That's the
Dive bars
thing.
have pull tabs. Oh god, those are the best. Those are those are awesome.
There's a brewery. They got like a dive bar kind of next to it, and the patrons there, they have like a room in the back, and they just drink and play. And these are all grown, obviously super grown men. All they do is drink and play Dungeons and Dragons all day.
Hell yes.
All day.
That sounds like a great time, dude. That sounds like
All
a
day.
great time.
That's
Sounds
the
like a
thing.
great time.
And they're dead
I
ass
love
serious
that.
too.
As you should be. Look, if you're getting into a D&D matchup and you're not taking it seriously, there's something.
They're dead ass serious.
Lock it.
And like so inside is like a kind of a store, so you can actually re-up the things that you need for the game.
Sure.
I'm not privy to it, but you buy right there at the spot. So it's like
Smart.
They just keep rolling. It's rolling.
Yeah, you want to keep your audience in that same location. Don't let them leave the venue. So that makes
There you
sense.
go.
All right, what else do we got? Blues Clues producer yells. Dancing at a club is a faux pas. If you're going to a club, why are we not dancing at the club? I mean, that's the whole point of the club.
Yeah, I agree. People have gotten way too cool for the club, which is one of the reasons why I don't go, because you go to a club and you spend this money, spend money to get in, and no one's freaking dancing.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to be, and everyone's just looking like they're the Jet Ebony.
Yeah, they're sitting over there like this.
Everyone's too cool for school, right? So if I'm gonna go to a club, and I don't go often, but if I'm gonna go to the club, I'm trying to see somebody shaking it, and I'm trying to shake it myself. Like we're gonna be 2 shakers in the room, like we should be. So I love going to places or clubs that everybody understands the agenda, everybody gets the memo, and then we're dancing. I think it's pathetic when you go to a club and everyone's just kind of having a staring contest. I think that's the weirdest club.
You're there to cut a rug, man. You're there to cut a rug.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go. All right, we got. I want to get the acronym. It's going to be BCPY. Blues Clues producer yells has got a question. BCPY. What do we got?
I don't know what it is about the PY, but it really sounds bad. I don't like how that sounds.
BCPY. That's your name.
Yeah. Marsh, when
You
Marsh
can't
says
defend yourself now.
B stands for black and C stands for colored. I know it, Marsh.
Whoa.
I know it. Anyhow. Great drink or great song when you're out. Which one matters more?
Great song.
Yeah, song matters so much more than the drink.
A song can bring a whole bar together like at one time. You play Jesse's Girl at the right time at a dive bar? Forget about it. Everybody's all in tune. You in Houston, you play the Macarena at the right time? Forget about it. Everybody's into it. Like a great, listen, you know what the drink's gonna be like. You just hope the guy doesn't skimp you on the liquor and he uses the good quality and the liquor that's on the bottle is actually inside the damn bottle. That's really all you're hoping for, to be honest with you. But if you can find a great song on top of that while you're elevating, forget about it.
Yeah, the drink doesn't matter, because you can just get whatever drink you want, but the song is going to bring up the vibe or bring down the vibe. 100%. So yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I would rather know music than playing bad music.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would rather know music than bad music, to be honest.
And I'm a big touch tunes guy. Love touch tunes. I hate when you want to talk about a faux pas when somebody puts like 7 songs in a row
And they terrible
because you
They're terrible.
and they're terrible. You got to read the like. I will never put more than 2 songs on at a time. Like, and if like I'll play a song, and I got two songs I love to play at a bar if they got touch tunes. It's Brandy by The Looking Glass because that's my favorite song.
Okay.
And then it's Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest because that's
a good
just it's a great song.
That's
and
a
I
good
think most people they like it's oldies, so you get the older crowd, but if they got good vibes to them.
Right.
But if I'm looking around and nobody's vibing to King Harvest, I'm not gonna go find another oldie song. So the next time I test the waters, I might play like some Toby Keith. I love this bar, and just like, okay, are people feeling this one?
Yeah.
If not, then I'm gonna shit. Like, I'm not gonna go start playing Skrillex and be like, we're doing 25 minutes of Skrillex, folks. No way. You got it.
Yeah.
You have to be limited because everybody's stuck with this music. And if it's just a group of 3 loving it, we're screwed.
I was in a bar. I saw a guy paying for the tunes, like you were saying, but he was just hitting back to. He was doing so well for so long. Someone finally asked, "Who the fuck is playing this music?" And the guy said, "Me." He says, "I'm buying you rounds for the rest of the evening. You're good. Your money's no good here no more. You keeping us all engaged. You got us all feeling good. We're spending money. We're having a good time, and it's because DJ's playing our favorite songs."
So there's a comedic bit. I can't remember who the comedian is now, but he was at a bar and they had I don't know if it was touch tunes or what they had, but he played "What's New Pussycat." Like the first time he played it, people laughed. Second time he played it, people were like, okay, I guess that's fun. Or the first time they liked it, second time they laughed and it came on again. Third time they were like, okay, that's kind of like annoying. Fourth time, people were like, all right, turn this off. So on the 5th time he plays a different song, and people are like, oh, thank God, What's New Pussycat is over. And then on the 6th song he went back to What's New Pussycat. So it is this hilarious bit that me and a buddy we like this comedy bit. So we're at a bar in Ocean City, Maryland, a dive bar, and they have touch tunes. And so we were gonna recreate the bit just because we thought it'd be funny with Brandy and Dancing in the Moonlight. So we played Dancing in the Moon, or he puts Brandy on first, and we're like, great song. He plays it a second time, and the bartender's like, all right, too much. It plays for a third time. She gets pissed. She walks over, unplugs the touch tunes.
Wow.
Plugs it back in, and Brandy keeps playing. And so she's like overriding it to stop it from playing. And it just keeps going, Brandy, for like 10 songs in a row. So she unplugs it a second time, plugs it back in, won't turn back on, busted the touch tunes, doesn't even work anymore. All because of Brandy by Looking Glass. So
good job, Mark.
It's worth the vibe. It's worth the vibe. So yes,
Marsh is going
vibe.
around making tours, busting touch tunes up at your local bars. Y'all stay tuned.
Don't skip Brandy. That's the lesson. Don't skip Brandy. You're a
Let Brandy play.
Let Brandy play. It's a great song.
Nice.
It's a great song. Bar staff is more fun than the customers. I think that matters based off how many drinks you've had and how crowded it is. I think the bar staff can get awfully prickly when it's packed and you're trying to make conversation and you're somebody that's 6-7 drinks in. That's a lot. But if you're sober at the bar, or maybe not sober, but like 2 or 3 in, and the bar's kind of messing with the drunk people, I think then they're more fun. But I don't think there's a more fun. I think that's a sliding scale.
Yeah, if you find out that the bar staff is more fun than the customers, that means there's no more damn customers in the place.
Right.
Because
that's great. That's much better said.
That means the bartender is now making up for the lack of customers that you're supposed to be surrounded by. So if the bar staff is more fun, then that's a red flag. I mean, there's no one in the place unless that's your goal. Maybe you like this particular bartender. Right? So if that's your goal, more power to you.
Yeah.
But typically speaking, if the bar staff is more fun, that means that's a red flag because there's no one else inside the building.
Are you a big converse with the bar staff when you're at a bar kind of guy?
If I'm a regular spot, yes. If I go often enough, yes. Especially for me, because I like my old fashions a certain kind of way. So like if I find that one bartender that makes it beautifully, at some point I tell them, hey, if you go somewhere else, let me know because I will patron where you're going because you have the best. You got, you know what I'm saying, your old fashioned is that good. So
All right, BCPY wants to say something.
One night,
Hello,
Rick and I are
everybody.
out. One night,
BCP
Rick
boy.
and I and maybe a couple other friends were out somewhere. It's not a dive bar. It's not a club. It's just kind of in between Houston spot, like what he says. And it's 2 stories, and we walk out. We walk in, and we're getting ready to, first there's 1 or 2 stops when you walk in. Either you walk straight to the bathroom because you've already been drinking, or you walk straight to the bar. I don't know what everyone else does. That's kind of our routine. We walk in, and Rick immediately walks up to the bar, specifically to a bartender that it did not seem like he knew who she was to us. Just walked up and said, "You know what I want." And she started making drinks.
Did she make what you wanted?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Made what we all
what
wanted.
did
We
you-
all had great drinks.
What did you want? What did you
remember.
want?
I don't remember.
Did-
That means I wanted whatever she felt like I needed.
Okay, one of those
And she gave it.
experiences.
And she gave it.
Okay. Well, you
What-
can't turn down a drink when you say that to somebody. You can't be like, "Yeah, it sucked." You kind of have to say, "This is a great drink."
Yeah. I mean, the harness is no longer on me, it's on the bartender. Because this is not representing you.
This is
You
not
make
my
a sucky
taste.
drink. You make a sucky drink. Then you're the one that looks bad. I'm gonna drink it, but I'm gonna tell you how.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you. I can tell you don't make great choices in life.
To be fair, guys, she did not pause for 1 second. She did not ask him what he wanted, and he didn't even think to ask. Do you have questions? It was immediate, and it was perfect.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this the next time I go to a bar. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
walk
should.
up and they say, "What do you want?" I'm gonna say, "You know what I want,"
There
and
you
we're gonna
go.
see.
There you go. Hey,
I
hey,
will
look,
report
Marsh,
back.
Say that and then look away. Like there's no more conversation. Like I have
Right, don't stare at him. It's like I've
yeah.
said it, and now I'm addressing something else.
Yes.
It's like,
yes,
you know what I
yes.
want, and then you're doing one of these.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, noted.
There you go.
I'm
There you go.
taking notes over here.
Yeah.
I will do that. I will do that for my next visit. All right, let's see what we've got here. Swapping bathroom gender lines is okay. No, it's not. That's not okay.
I'm not.
I don't
I'm
know
not
why.
against it. I'm not against it.
What does that even mean? What do you mean you're not against it? A guy cannot go into the
Some
women's
restrooms
room.
have-
man.
some restrooms are fluid. They don't have like.
Yeah, I didn't think that's allowed in Texas. I think that's illegal in Texas. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's probably a felony offense in the state of Texas.
No, some restaurants they have. Yeah, there's no. It's what just wash your hands. Like that's the rule. Just wash your hands.
But
I don't
yes,
care. I don't
so
care
you're
who
just
goes
talking.
there.
There's a unisex,
Wash your hands.
right? But I don't. That's not the line. The line is swapping gender lines. There's a men's room and a women's room. I think the women can go into the men's room if there's no line for the men's room, but a man cannot go. I don't think a guy's going into the other side. I don't know that that's a hot take.
I've done it.
You've done it. You're a brave man. You're a brave man.
See, the women escorted me in.
Did you use the restroom?
Yeah, I really had to piss for real. But she was like, "Yo, just come on, you come here with me." Cool.
That's a bold move. That's a bolder move than I would have made. I'll just say that. I'm not saying that I don't have any opinion. I'm just saying it's a bold move.
Yeah.
So
Hey, listen.
I just don't think that's it. All right, we got 2 more here before we wrap up today's episode. We've got house party is better or worse than a club and bar.
I'm house party all day long. There's
I agree.
nothing better than a really good house party. Now, everyone doesn't have really good house parties, but I put it like this: every great house party I've ever been to, I remember vividly, and I
Yep.
miss all the time. I reminisce
Yep.
about it periodically throughout the year. You know, the best Halloween party I've been to was a house party. So every Halloween, I think about the best Halloween party I went to was at someone's house. You know, so house party is going to beat club bar every night, every day. A good one is going to beat it easily.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that's key. Is that it has to be a good one, right? Because I think that there's a lot of benefits and there's a lot higher potential for a house party, but I also think there's a lot lower floor at a house party. Like if the music, like I've been to house parties where the host played music, but they played music that the host liked,
Yeah.
and they never back to the what's more important.
Yeah.
They never read the room. Was like, oh, nobody's dancing
Yeah.
to this music, and if that's like if nobody's moving, shaking a little bit of a groove,
So
that's
Marsh,
a problem.
So Marsh, let's do this. Let's name some quintessential things that you need to have a great house party.
You need a
Music is
table.
one.
Music is
Huh?
one. You need a table so you can play some type of game to keep people.
You need at least one. Okay, you need at least one.
You need like a game
well, at least one
location.
table. You got.
I also think
you can't run out of liquor. You cannot. I repeat, you cannot run out of liquor. Is rule number one at a house party.
I think that's probably pretty standard. I think most people kind of know that if you're hosting a house party, you can't. I like a little the host provides some snackies, just as like it doesn't you just get like some sandwiches or some finger food or something. It doesn't have to be a lot.
I came here to drink, so a good charcuterie board is fine for me.
Yeah,
I love a good board. Yeah, but here's my thing. I do have this thing now.
Okay.
We talking about size of house parties. Now, I will say this: the larger the size of people gathered, the less I'm likely to engage in the food. Because everybody's hands is every freaking
yeah. Again, I love it, but I like that at a dive bar. I don't like that at a house party. So I agree with you there.
You take dive bar chances, but you're not taking house party chances?
Yes, I will. I can't even explain that one. But to me, that some part of it just makes more sense. And maybe it's because I'm under this. It's like sanitation theater, right? It's like, well, they're a bar. They have to have some health and safety regulations. The house party doesn't. That one, I'm going to admit, I think I'm wrong on that because there's no consistency between the two, but that's just how I feel. I think that a house party needs to have two distinct areas, at least two. You need here's the conversing area, and then here's the more we're having a good time area. Not that you can't have a good time having a conversation, but I think you need to have two distinct areas. Well, it could be an inside, outside, upstairs, downstairs.
I'm gonna say the conversing area is usually outside the door, outside the house.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Yep. It is.
You want to have a conversation? It is outside.
But that's that is. Oh, so you're saying that the conversation is outside?
Hey, if the party's going on inside, you can't hear you can't talk to the other person because the party's going on. We're not stopping the party because you can't hear yourself talk.
I have a lot of the South Florida house parties that I've been to. Again, we're not. It's just people having a house and they have people over. The outdoors tends to be where people are more like cutting a rug, and the indoors tends to be where the conversations are going on. I don't know why that is.
That's because it's hot out there.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, so
you want to be in the AC.
People who came decided they wasn't going to dance. They weren't going to cut a rug anyway. They want to be inside.
They want to be with the air conditioning. Yeah, it's true.
Because that's their whole goal. That's the only reason why they came, because someone told them you can just hang inside.
Right.
Because they had no intention of actually partying anyway.
Are you a daytime, or do you prefer a day house party or a night house party?
I prefer a good time. I don't give a damn I don't care what.
No, you don't have a preference?
Nighttime, I've been to banging parties on both sides of the coin. So to me, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think daytime allows you to rest up a little bit more. But let's be honest, every good daytime party leads into the nighttime anyway. I think
but there's a much later night.
A good daytime party lasts infinitely longer than a good nighttime party does.
Well, yes, because no one wants to be up. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. I don't want to be up past 2:00. I just don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to waste my day.
Daytime parties are actually a little bit more dangerous because there's more time for partying. Well, nighttime parties are going to end at a certain time.
But I can still get to bed at a decent hour after a daytime party.
You can't, but you're gonna need to because you're done.
You're probably especially if you've been outside in this Florida sun. It's like
you're completely
you can't keep going. Your body is literally just giving up at that point. All right, I think we got one more. Before we get to mini wrongs, we got one more, and that's gonna be, what's the best party night in your life? Oh boy, I have a reputation to uphold. I don't know that I can give the best party night in my life. I think that there's some things that should be left for secrecy. that's gonna be my take on it, which might not be great for this podcast, but I think there's some things better left unsaid. It's a great question.
Yeah, I think probably the best part of that in my life, it happened in Vegas.
Oh.
So several times it happened in Vegas, actually.
Whoa.
But it happened in Vegas. And let's just say that we did everything Vegas allowed.
And some things they didn't?
My alarm's going on. Hold on one second. Damn it.
I'm not. I got a little bit of decency that I'm trying to protect here. Don't put me on as we wait for Rick to either get an alarm or something else that's beeping off in the background.
You know, Marsh, I can share with you while we wait on Rick. I'll share a story with you real quick. Y'all were talking about bathrooms. No woman invited me into the bathroom like Rick, but I can tell you a time out in L.A. I can't remember the name of the mall, and it may be the last time. And the only time, now that I think about it, that I used a public restroom ever. I had to use a restroom. I had to do a number two. I just said had to do a number two, and I went to the restroom. I sat down, right, and I'm just like, I can't believe that I'm using the restroom in public. Right, exactly how you're saying. And I'm sitting there, and I hear shoes walk in. I'm like, those don't sound like sneakers. Then I hear some more shoes that don't sound like sneakers. And then I look down at the feet next to me in the stall next to me, and I see heels. I'm like, why would a guy have on heels in here? And why would there be so many guys? I know I'm in Cali, but why would there be so many guys with heels on? And I said, maybe I'm not in the guy's bathroom. So now I'm sitting there trying to wrap up. And I'm like, damn, I know by my shoes they know there's a guy in here. Now, how do I get out of here? Without anyone seeing me. So I wait a little bit, and I just get up. I just get up, I bypass washing my hands, everything. I was like, let me get out of here before anyone sees me. And as I'm walking out, Marsh, I walk out of the bathroom and realize that I walked past maybe 10 people in line. What I did is I was so focused on using the restroom that I bypassed everybody to go to the women's bathroom.
The amount of confidence that they must have thought you had in that moment to just be that's right. Like, there's a lot of things you can do in life just out of straight confidence, and that is clearly one of them. Is just get to the restroom.
If I would have been in your shoes and realized I'm in a women's, I would have died. Just take me out right now.
I don't know that you can stay. You can't stay in that.
I can't show my face anymore. But I can never.
The night's over. The night's over. All right, I got a mini wrong. I got a mini wrong for you, and I'm not going to name the brand of this, and I just don't know what's going on, but it's weird. The number of life insurance commercials that I've been getting for a very specific life insurance provider, they have both TV and podcast ads that I have seen and heard. They're definitely not going to sponsor this podcast if they ever had a chance, and they're talking about like. They get people talking about how happy they are they have life insurance. Like, my wife died, but thank God she had life insurance. And it's like, man, this feels weird. And they have an app that they're like, it's so easy. You can choose how much it is. And it's like, kind of like, to me, it feels a little too easy. So there's my wrong. And maybe I'm in danger now because I said that publicly. But what's up with these life insurance ads? It makes me uncomfortable. That's my main wrong.
Listen, I have an issue myself, and my issue is not life or death, but it's very serious. For like the 12th, 13th, 1400th time, Netflix have gone up on their subscription again. Netflix is damn near $30. It started off at a $10.99 subscription. It's going up to like $27 now. Netflix, goddamn it, stop! Enough is enough. We paying too much already.
We're gonna bring back cable. Cable's back. Cable's back.
We're pretty much
already.
there now.
Cable's back. We're gonna have like the second coming of Netflix. That's just takes all the subscribers and like we can bundle them together for you. And whoever wins that race is they're gonna corner the market. I agree with you. down with every streaming service. I mean, you can only have a couple of them. Like if somebody tells me they have like 5 subscription services, you're rich. I mean, you're
What
and
what's
like and live
what's the
TV in
two?
some
What's
capacity.
the two you have to have? The two
So we
subscriptions you
have
have to have.
that I does that include like YouTube TV so you can watch TV?
Yep.
I think that's got to be one of them because I'm a sports guy.
Yeah.
Probably Peacock. I'm gonna say Peacock because they've got
Really?
some rewatchable shows. You got I love The Office, so you could.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that that's the one that I use the most, but if somebody told me I had to pick, I might go Peacock. Although I can't lie, I mean Netflix discography, if that's even relevant, their catalog, Netflix catalog is really good.
It's been they have the best catalog ever. As far as
They
like
do.
the amount of stuff on there, yes, you can't beat that.
But I think I would just go Peacock because, like, if I reached a point where I could only do that, then I would just be rewatching The Office and Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think those are 3 of the best sitcoms. So I would shout out this one, St. Dennis Medical. That's a new one on Peacock. It's very mockumentary style. That one rips. That's on Peacock. And then a new one also with Tracy Morgan, The Legend of Reggie Dinkle, I think it is.
Yeah, I
Also
do
pretty
not find Tracy
solid.
Morgan funny though, but yes.
Yeah, I would say that he's not the best part of that show, but it's entertaining enough. I like it enough. So that's where I'm at.
As I asked you that and as you was answering, I started thinking and pondering pretty tough about it. What 2 would I pick?
Yeah.
And the first one that came to mind, I have to say, because I can't imagine not being able to watch it, and that's NFL Network. I mean NFL, the TV, where you can watch all the
Sunday
games.
Ticket.
Sunday Ticket.
Yeah.
Sunday Ticket I have to have. I can't imagine Sundays at this point. I'm too invested into it because of my dynasty seasons and my fantasy football, and it's just my Sunday entertainment. For the first part of my Monday, my morning, afternoon, Sunday, it's football. It is what it is. So Sunday Ticket is one, and the second one probably would be. I could say Netflix, but I just finished get on the ass by charging me too much, so I'm not going to say Netflix. Let's go Amazon Prime.
Well, that one I feel like people just have because they have Amazon Prime, and then they get Prime Video.
So it's like a bonus. It's like a 2-in-1.
But I haven't been on. I'm being told that you have to pay for Prime Video too, which what's up with that? I have not watched any Prime Video shows. Like I don't go on to Prime Video and be like, time to watch this.
They got the young Sherlock just came out on Amazon Prime. I like that.
Young Sherlock. I have not watched Young Sherlock.
When he was younger. Yeah.
Okay.
It's how he met. Do you know the story? It's how he and
Watson.
Well, this is not Watson. It's his brother Minecraft. His older brother Minecraft.
I didn't know
And
Sherlock Holmes had an older brother.
yeah, and his big arch nemesis. What is his name?
I didn't know Sherlock Holmes had an arch nemesis.
What? So you don't know the Sherlock story then? Obviously.
No, I just know.
Well, why you just stop me there with I don't know the story instead of me having to say all this?
Because I thought it was only Elementary, my dear Watson. I thought that was it. I thought it was just Sherlock and Watson. I didn't realize there was so much backstory.
Yeah, there's a lot to that, Marsh. Come
Wow.
on. He should be losing all his points. I mean, how you just not know nothing about Sherlock?
There's honestly at some point I think we got too much content. How am I supposed to keep track on everything? I can barely keep up on what I actually pay attention to. I mean, now I gotta know the backstory for some British detective from 1902.
Yeah, it's legend.
I mean, look, yes, he is a legend, but that's too much backlog for me.
So you watched the Robert Downey Jr. version?
I did. I didn't realize there was backstory there. I liked the Robert Downey Jr. version.
Yeah.
That one was sick, where like he would see everything that was going to happen and it would go in slow motion. I love that.
In the young Sherlock, he doesn't obviously he's developing that as he goes on. So you see him as his younger.
This is a prequel.
It's a prequel. So he starts to
to the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock.
It could be it could be the story's going to remain the same mostly, but yeah, you can take that. You can take that version of Sherlock. It'll fit perfectly. It'll still fit. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, that's our show. We've got a 2-2 tie on the scoreboard.
yeah,
And now he's nope. Yells is taking the executive position. Marsha's won because of my great arguments about dive bars. So that's another.
I thought tie goes to the
man.
black person. That wasn't the rule.
Whoa. Well, the black person chose the winner, so I'm just the recipient here. I'm just the receiving end of this benefit. All right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to listen. Reminder, we got the new channel on YouTube, tmiw.show. So head on over if you've been watching on SimWorld TV. Make sure you're following along on the other channel. We are Thursdays at 3 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in. We will talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.